Some students I've encountered have come across a particular difficulty that has them quite surprised and quite confused. So typically they might be academically quite smart, perhaps IQ has been tested and it's really quite high. However, their results in exams have been very poor despite doing what they feel is considerable preparation. And it has everyone confused. What's going on with this? And something that's emerged that I've been doing quite a lot of work with is a concept called slow processing speed. Now, processing speed is literally, it does what it says on the tin. It's the ability of your brain to take information in and to do something with it, to process it, to understand how it fits with everything else that you know. So you might be taking it in either via your ears or via your eyes or by doing stuff. Either which way, it's about the ability to process. And with some people, that processing speed, for whatever reason, we don't know why, but it's a little bit slower. So what does that mean? In a classroom situation, it means that the first time you encounter material, it might take you longer than the person sitting next to you to really come to grips with what it is that the teacher's talking about, or what this concept means and how it fits with the lexicon of everything else that you have in your mind. So that's the first thing, and in a classroom it can affect you. But sometimes people are quite good at hiding that and going away and going, well, I can make up that time afterwards, and it's going to take me a little bit longer to understand that initial concept. However, in an exam, slow processing speed can massively affect you, and it can affect you in different ways. First of all, you can be prone to misinterpreting the question because you're zooming along, you're under stress in an exam situation and you're trying to be as fast as possible. So you tend to misinterpret the exam question. You can miss steps. So if there's more than one part to a question, you can miss question part 2. You can make silly mistakes, okay? Particularly once again when you're feeling pressured, because that processing speed, that ability for your memory and that part of your brain to hold that information and do something with it isn't working as fast as you would like it to at that particular time. What then happens is that you start getting flustered and you start getting panicky, and that sense of pressure in the exam increases, and therefore, vicious circle, we can end up making more mistakes with that. We can also have the situation where we get a lot lower marks in our exams than we do in our coursework, which also contributes to that additional confusion. And you can be in an exam reading an essay question going, well, hang on, I did really well in my coursework on this area. I don't understand why I'm having difficulty with it now. And because you're so limited on time in an exam, that slow processing speed can be a real disadvantage for you. Right, so what do we do? The first thing you have to do is get it tested and then apply for extra time. Because without extra time, it's not a level playing field for you. It doesn't mean that you're as daft as a brush, okay? It simply means that you're going to need that little bit longer in order to process information. And that's absolutely fine. I mean, I work with CEOs as well, and there are 2 different types of CEO. There are those who make decisions straight up when they see something and they go, okay, right, I want it done like this, like this, like this. And there's the other type of CEO who says, actually, I want to absorb this and I want to process it before I come up with a decision. And technically speaking, there's no right or wrong because it varies on the situation. And this is the same for you in a school situation, okay? Just because your processing speed is a bit slower doesn't mean to say that you should be disadvantaged. So get tested, and when it shows up, apply for that extra time as far as the exam board is concerned, and your school can help with that. In a classroom situation, ask for notes from your teacher, so you're not constantly having to both write notes and also process what's coming in. In an ideal world, perhaps get those notes beforehand so you can track what the teacher's saying against the notes that you have, so you're not trying to do too many things at once. Assume that you're going to have a longer preparation time when it comes to doing your revision. You're going to need to add in that little bit of extra that perhaps your best friend doesn't need to do. Fine. It means you're going to guarantee that you get things right and you get the grades that you want. It is what it is. Make sure you do really good time planning. So with that extra time, make sure you've time planned for your past papers. So when you do practice papers, make sure you add in that extra time and how you're going to best use it as well. That's one of the things I do with a lot of my students, is that time planning throughout the exam, because obviously it's going to be different when you have that extra time. The main thing is really about keeping that anxiety down and of saying to yourself, if we've done that planning, we can go, it's okay, I've planned for it, I've done practice papers with it, and I can keep my brain flowing as opposed to freezing, which is what we really want. So if we're doing that and you're feeling good, then you're going to have far more of a chance to reduce silly mistakes and also have what I call a wide brain, wide eyes, and the ability to think outside the square, and also to pick up on all of the bits of information that you need to access when it comes to writing a more complex answer to your exams as well, because panic tends to make us quite narrow-minded and narrow-focused as well as mistake-prone. So use anxiety reduction techniques, and I'm going to give you a little bit of a progressive muscular relaxation to show you how to use your breathing and also how to relax your body a little bit. So take a look at that, because that will be in another one of my segments. And then finally, at the end of your exam, use the checking procedures. Make sure you go back and you go, right, what have I done in order to make sure that I've written down what I believe the right answer is. And then if you do that, the playing field is level, you get the best opportunity, and hello, good marks.